What's up, guys? I'm Alex.
I'm Jason with the Table Monkeys, and we are back with a final video to hype up our No Elimination tournament and talk about our watch party for East vs. West 8, which is happening all on July 29th. Our event is here in Toronto at 5 Brock Avenue, which we'll talk about the venue in a little bit. But the East vs. West event is happening in Turkey.
Yep.
And obviously, if you've been keeping up with it, there's been a lot of drama about this event, kind of starting with us throwing a watch party. So we wanted to address that quickly and talk to Ingen because we're trying to set up a video call with him, but with the time difference and all the drama that happened with his event this week.
Stressed enough.
Yeah, the man's stressed enough. He didn't need to talk to us. So basically, he was kind of upset about the idea of a watch party and, put forth, which was our point from the beginning. And one of the things that I kind of live by is this idea that there's a lot of things in life that you ask for forgiveness, not permission. And this was one of those things where I didn't feel like it was worth, or we didn't feel like it was worth reaching out to him and asking for permission to do it. Let's just do it. If he has a problem with it, we'll say, hey, Ingen, sorry, we didn't mean to upset you. Let's come to an agreement to kind of mend it over. So what we're going to offer to Ingen to kind of bridge the gap in the idea that arm wrestling isn't where UFC is at yet, and we don't have public pay-per-view options for situations like this.
So we don't want to piss him off, right?
Yeah,
don't want to be friends with Ingen.
Yeah, that's not our objective at all. The enigma of rage is not somebody you want on the wrong side of the line with you. So we want to keep him happy, and we also fully appreciate and love everything that he is trying to do for the sport, which is the same as us. We're just trying to push it forward, and our objective with this was to be able to show his event to people that don't know it or haven't seen it or wouldn't have watched the pay-per-view, which is usually what we end up having at our tournaments in Toronto, is a lot of people that are new to arm wrestling checking it out and being like, holy shit, this is cool. So to be able to show the East vs. West on big movie theater style screens while another tournament was happening, we just thought is like this huge overload of arm wrestling for people that haven't seen it before, that it would really be something that would be cool and push the sport forward.
Hopefully create new fans of arm wrestling.
Yeah, that was our main objective of it. We really didn't think that people were going to, avoid spending $15 on a pay-per-view by driving to Toronto, paying for parking, paying for entry fee, paying for the tournament. Like if they did that, they didn't do their math very good. But again, in a way to not piss off Ingen, what we want to do is take 25% of all the admissions fees. So that's the $10 admissions fee that you have to pay to get into the event altogether. And then after that, it's $35 if you want to arm wrestle per arm for the tournament. So 25% of that $10, so $2.50 per person that comes to our event, is going to be going to Ingen and East vs. West to support what he's doing and to be sort of our version of the public pay-per-view payment that we're going to make to Ingen for having this event and giving us this epic show to everybody.
Yeah, so hopefully that's good for Ingen, good for us, and we can continue to be on good terms.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about East vs. West and Ingen, there's obviously a lot of drama going on right now with the two top matches at the event. I'm glad that they didn't completely fall through, and they're happening now. Apart from, obviously, Morozov is not facing Gennady. Gennady got sick for 5 days and then decided to fucking do a heavy dumbbell curl
the warrior spirit took over, which I
mean, kudos, but
at the same time,
I think it was probably a dumb.
If you know us, you know that we like a little bit more structure, and we're a little bit more about the science and the this is the way you should do it kind of thing. And this was definitely a recipe for an injury. If you've been sick for a little while and you've been peaking,
it's probably dehydrated.
Yeah, exactly.
Not eating as much.
And what's happening in that situation is a mental block of like, I don't feel strong, so I want to know I'm strong. So you go and you try to push yourself, and we know that Gennady's somebody who knows how to push himself through a brick wall if he has to. Yeah. So what can happen if you have that kind of mentality, or what's very easy to happen, is you push yourself into an injury, especially when you're, using all the additives that these guys are using at that level, right?
Yes,
so
exactly.
So anyway, what's his name? Georgi
Svetkov, who had a great match with Jerry, a really tough war, is now facing Morozov. Obviously, it's a step down from Gennady, I believe. I mean, it's tough to tell, but they both had wars with Jerry, so who knows? Maybe they are on a similar level. Different puller, of course. So
I was going to say it's a different style, right? So that might be a bit of a curveball for Morozov, where he was training for probably a lot more inside, and now he's going to have this very short levered but strong back pressure top roll, which again, Morozov likes to set up really straight and tall, which might be awkward for him with the shorter lever of Georgie if he ends up getting pulled down a bit. The top roll
really low hand him. I mean, Morozov can do everything. Like he's a great athlete.
100%. And I think we're both giving the edge still.
100%. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to see otherwise. I mean, I know it doesn't change things, but Morozov was obviously training for Levon. He believes he's good enough to face him, but he also progresses so fast match to match that it's hard to believe that he's not close to that level, or at least knocking on the door. Yeah. So I would definitely give him the edge, but Georgie's a beast, and you know, the last thing that you can do is underestimate an opponent like him. Yeah. And like I said, if maybe there could be some strategic part of it or some training aspect where, you know, maybe Morozov wasn't training his hand or something, or there's an angle that Georgie has access to that Morozov wasn't training because he didn't think that Gennady had access to. Yeah. But we're going to find out on Saturday because we don't really know. But either way, we're both giving Morozov the edge. I'll say 3-1, give Georgie the opportunity to pick around. I think it could be around that.
We'll go 3-1s, but there have been a lot of 3-0s, a lot of sweeps in East versus West recently. But
on to the next match that almost didn't happen.
And then was happening, and then almost didn't happen again. And then you're a pussy, you're a pussy, jalopy, whatever, who knows. But it's fucking everything, so much drama on this match.
Somehow Jerry has managed to make it to Istanbul with his passport, I'm guessing. Yeah. So the ERMES and Jerry match is now happening. Yep. ERMES the Gladiator versus the what's Jerry's nickname?
I don't know.
Jalopy, right?
No, that was his nickname for Devin. Yeah. I don't know. Jerry's a beast though, and
he's a beast. He's got a very unique style. Obviously, great against top rollers. But ERMES has great everywhere. Good inside. Has a great press as well, as we saw against Levon.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you compare it kind of like to the Georgie match, because we were just talking about that with Jerry, like Georgie was able to really exploit his back pressure against Jerry and get Jerry kind of far out of his arm, where if Georgie had just stood up, he would have probably taken, maybe the whole match, but definitely a couple rounds. Yeah. And what you just said, we know now that ERMES knows how to stand up, and that ERMES is, when he gets his shoulder behind it, there's a lot there. So this could, I think it's going to be a bad day for Jerry. I think that ERMES' back pressure, that 92 kilos, is just absolutely monstrous and ridiculous. And then we also know that translates to the table because we saw him stop Levon with that same angle, basically, by using tons of back pressure and then being able to get his shoulder behind it. So again, if he's able to do that to Jerry, I think he's going to keep it on his side of the table, get Jerry outside of his arm a little bit, and then finish with that press. I do see Jerry being able to get the first round with how fast he is and how awkward his setup is, because the ERMES does have a weakness. It would be needing to get such a perfect setup, I feel like, right? So
I would love to see Jerry get that too. I'd love to see him make a war for the sake of keeping arm wrestling interesting and like having great athletes right at the top of the sport, ready to be the next challenger.
Jerry does look fucking huge. He does look thick as shit, and he was he was pushing his bench press, everything. Like, he is definitely ready for the match. So he's not out of it in any ways, but I think we're both giving ERMES the edge. Yep. I'll go 3-1 again, because I do see Jerry being able to get that first round, and I would love to see it turn into a war. But
I would go 3-0. But yeah, I would love to see Jerry do something different.
Yeah. So anyway, that covers the East versus West event. On to the tournament real quick. We just want to go over the rules quick and the point system and how it's going to work, just because it's a little bit different. It's not just a regular double elimination, obviously, as we've been calling it, the no elimination. So the premise of that is basically that they're going to be like round robin for the most part. It's going to be dependent on the size of the class. We are expecting a pretty good turnout, so if the classes get over a certain size, we're going to split them up into 2 groups. If we do split you up into 2 groups, the number 1 point scorer in each group is going to go against each other for first and second, and then the number 2 point scorer in each group is going to go against each other for third place, because we do have medals for first, second, and third. Again, it's going to be based on a point system, which kind of revolves around the fouls. So we'll talk about the rules to establish how the fouls work. Yes. So this is WAL setup, right?
Yeah, so we'll do a WAL set grip to start. The ref is going to set your shoulders and your hands, make sure the webbings are even, and then he's going to say, close your thumbs, close your hands, go. Now, there will be a brief delay between the close your hands and the go, just to make sure that no one is covering or carving or doing anything to make the setup unfair.
Yeah.
Because if you do that, you will get a foul. A 3-foul system, no warning. So any movement in the set grip will be a foul.
Yeah.
Stop fouls if it's within the match. All sits go to straps, and everything else will be in accordance to WAF.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then the way the fouls work to the points, basically a clean win with no fouls. So first pull, everything's clean. I pin Alex. It's a 5-point win for myself. If any fouls that occur are basically either you lose a point or you gain a point depending on who fouls. So let's say I cause a foul and then we reset and then I win. Now I won with 1 foul on my side. I got a 4-point win instead of a 5-point win. But let's say Alex fouls and then we reset and then I win the match. Now I win with him having 1 foul. I'll get a 6-point win. Yep. So it just continues like that. So let's say you force your opponent to foul out basically by just being in control and he's frantic and feels like he needs to foul in order to get the win, but you cause him to foul out and you didn't incur any fouls, then you get an 8-point win, which would be kind of the best that you could do. And then the only other way to score an extra point would be with a flash pin. So that'll be on the ref's discretion, has to be within a half second of the go is the premise. And basically it needs to look like there's no real resistance, like you caught him off the go and he didn't slow you down on the way to the pad. Yeah. If that happens, you get an extra point. So again, if there were no fouls, clean win, but it's a flash, it would be 6 points instead of 5. Alex will be one of the head refs along with Louis Cocolari. They both understand the point system. I'll be keeping score. So between the 3 of us, we're going to keep track of all that and try to be as vocal and clear about it as it's happening so everybody kind of knows what's going on. And then, like I said, that'll lead to who wins the class and who moves on. Once we have a winner in each class, we will run an overalls from heaviest to lightest, and the winner of the overalls will take a portion of the entry fees home based on how many entry fees we get.
Yes. So come out, check it out tomorrow. Doors open at 11. Registration closes at 1. Tournament starts at 2.
And East vs. West usually starts around noon, so we expect the pay-per-view to start around then. And the way it's going to be set up with the 2 rooms, just to finalize that, the one room that is hosting the tournament will have the biggest screen with the pay-per-view happening, but that's going to be more for the tournament. There's a second room that'll be a little bit more like a movie theater setup with a darker lighting and a louder sound of the actual tournament. And so that'll be more if you just want to view the pay-per-view, you'll go in there. If you want to watch the tournament, you stay in here, but you'll always get to see the pay-per-view. And we're going to get to see Gennady and Hermes and Morzov and everybody on a giant movie theater screen, which is going to be fucking cool.
Yeah, we'll have food and drinks and everything.
Yeah, Soloways, right? We didn't mention Soloways.
So. Soloways is going to be providing burgers and hot dogs.
Yeah, thank you to them. Yep. And we, like Alex said, we've got beer, alcohol on site, permits are set, everything's good. So come by, join us for the fucking tournament, for the watch party. It's going to be epic. And I think that's it.
Yeah, like, come, subscribe.
All those things.
Monkeys out.
Peace.